Welcome to the Spunky Spirit Podcast. I'm your host, psychic medium Carrie Muggs. This is where we learn all things spirit, everything from spiritual gifts, awakenings, ghosts, aliens, and starseeds. Nothing is untouchable, but always fun and spunky. I am honored to be on this spiritual journey with you, so make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Hello, and welcome to this episode of Spunky Spirit. I am psychic medium Carrie Muggs. And today we're going to talk about mediumship moments and magical moments and why I kind of do the things I do. So lots of people have asked, how did you get started? And I have told my story on this platform before. Like there have been episodes, different things that happened when I was little. And so this is going to be a different take on it. And I'm going to be truly honest and authentic and raw because sometimes, like I have said, this mediumship is not for the faint of heart. It's really not. It takes a lot. And I'm not saying that I'm brave. I just kind of got, I started doing mediumship readings for people, and it just got to where it was, it snowballed. I did a couple readings for some people, and then I did some more readings and some more readings, and they told people, and they told people, and they told people, and it snowballed. And then it got to the point where I was booked out so far. I didn't have any choice but to stay in, because I'm honestly, there have been moments and times that I have been so much anxiety or so much stress that I probably would have quit. But because I was so booked out, I didn't have a choice because people were dependent on me, and I was already booked out for, first it was 2 months, then it was 3 months. Now it's cleared to like 8 months. And so now I don't have any I'm going to quit. But there were times in the beginning that I was overwhelmed and I was a little nervous and I was scared, because all mediums will get that way. And if they don't, that's great. But in the beginning, it's not just that, it's just that what people, if you're a people pleaser, and I totally was for a long time, it did bother me what people said about me. I, so growing up, I wasn't religious. I wasn't brought up in a religious home, but because of my gifts and because of everything that I went through in my marriage, I thought that if I joined a certain religion, everything would be perfect. And so I did. And then I ended up being in that religion for a really long time. And I raised my kids in this religion. And so when I kind of started phasing out and doing my calling, doing my mediumship and doing readings, it was so chaotic. It was so chaotic inside of me, because part of me was like, do I stay? Do I go? Because the two didn't coincide. And I felt like a liar raising my children up in this certain religion. And it was just a mess. And there were so many times, I would hide. I was like a hidden mediumship. Most of my readings were from people online or over the phone at first from North Carolina. And then it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I did 1 or 2 readings. I did one reading in Idaho Falls. And then it just snowballed, and I got booked pretty far out, and which is great, and I'm so blessed. In fact, I'm so blessed, because if that wouldn't have happened, I probably would have quit. But because I'm such a people pleaser, and I wanted to be there for people, and I want to show up for people, and because they had already paid their money, I stuck with it. But there were times when my anxiety was so high, that I, just because of a couple things. One, because of what people were saying. I lost so many friends and so many neighbors and so many people in that religion, or they don't really want to talk to me anymore. And they think I'm crazy, or they think I'm weird, or they think I'm off my rocker. And honestly, doing my mediumship and doing readings for people and connecting them to their lost loved ones, I've actually helped more people doing this than I ever did in any kind of position in my religion. And so that's why I kept going too, is because I knew I was making a difference. I knew I was helping people because they would tell me. They would, just to see, especially like people who lost children. That's the hardest. Those are the hardest readings to do. And then the fact that I was overbooked, like not overbooked, but booked, I felt bad. I felt responsible. There's only one me. There's nothing I can do about it. But I felt responsible because because people are booking clear in advance, and I felt like I had to hurry and get more people in so I could serve them and be them, which is true, but not at the point where it overwhelms me and makes me sick. So I got to the point where I was doing 4 to 5 a day. And I literally got sick. Spirit was like, you cannot do this. It was too much. It was way too much for me. I was way too tired. And so, and then another thing is your family, like friends, your family thinks you're crazy too. And it's hard because, there's a lot of my family members that are just like, what is she doing? And I don't care anymore. I did for a long time, but I don't care anymore. I've got to that point where the last couple of years, this is what I do. This is how I help people. This is what I love to do now. But it took a lot of anxiety to get here, but it is so beautiful. And it's like Spirit knew I had to be booked out because, and Spirit knew I had to build boundaries, because now I can function. I can function in this, and I can function in doing readings and classes and spirit circles and all the things, because it is not for the faint of heart. Because people are going to talk about you. They're going to say bad things about you. They're going to say you're crazy. They're going to say you're evil. That was the hardest thing too, is that I was evil. I've gotten lots of messages that I'm so evil and I'm going to hell. And honestly, I love this song by David Archuleta, and it says we'll go to hell together. If what I do is making people think that I'm evil, if I thought there was any evil behind it whatsoever, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it at all. And I know for a fact that there are not fake spirits coming to me pretending to be ancestors to give people hope and to give people love, because some of the things that come through, I would never know. My readings are very specific, and they're very just detailed, things that I would never know. Nobody would ever know. Things like they know if you went to the bank and got a loan that day, like just very specific things. And I don't think that I know for a fact that all of that evidence is your loved ones coming through telling you they're with you. Why would a bad spirit or an evil spirit care? I know with a shadow, I know with all of my heart that these readings are good and loving and from your spirit guides but your ancestors, your loved ones that you lost. I know that they are. And if I ever thought that they weren't, or if I ever thought that was there a small chance of them being evil, I wouldn't do them. So I just want you to know that being a medium is beautiful. And I've had some of my most amazing moments. All of it is beautiful. And the things that I've seen and the readings that come through, and they're the most profound, beautiful, spiritual things that I've ever witnessed. And you can't deny it. You can't deny it. If you've you can't. There's just no way. When things come through and you feel that, spirit, you can't deny it. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. But there have been times that, because of some of the things that I went through in my childhood, or some things that that my people pleasing and all of that stuff, and caring what people thought and caring what my people would think about my kids and my family. It got to the point where I don't care what people think about me, but I have 7 kids, and they want to be successful. And what about if people make fun of them because of what I do? And once I let all that go, and it's not easy, and I still, to this day, I still will have some issues. Like, I'll see somebody like a post on my stuff, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, they saw that. And because I just barely put my personal page, my Facebook Carrie Muggs page, I started posting stuff there. And some of the people that see it or some of the people that look at it, I get a little bit of anxious. And then I think, you know what? I don't care because this is so profound and Spirit, I promised Spirit that I would do this. I don't know if I promised Spirit in a past life or if it's something that I did in a past life, but I know I'm supposed to do this. I've had a reader tell me at one time that I used my gift for different, not great circumstances in a past life. And so I am doing it in this life to help all those people that I hurt, to help them in this life. And so now I'm using it to pay back what I once, and I don't know if that's true. But I just know that I can't, every time I felt like I have to quit, or every time I felt like this is too hard, every time I felt like that, I've always been pushed to keep going, pushed to be strong, pushed to be brave. And so because it's such a beautiful, beautiful thing. And a lot of times mediums will say they didn't have a choice. And I used to get so mad at that because I'm like, you always have a choice. You do. I have a choice. I can quit tomorrow or I can keep doing this. But I know in my heart that if I ever were to stop, I would crave it so badly or I would want to keep, I would miss it because the parts of it that are so beautiful outweigh the parts that are not. And so the readings where I help people realize that they have the same gift, or I help people realize that their loved ones haven't gone anywhere, or I help people realize that they're also very gifted. Everyone's gifted. And which is your strongest Claire, and which is, how do you speak to Spirit? And when I help people do that, it makes it so worth it. And so mediumship is such a magical moment. And I was going to come on here and give instances of different readings that I've done and how they're so specific. But readings are so sacred, and I don't have the right to share those with people unless I've asked permission and they've given. And there have been a few that have given me permission, but they're just such a sacred, loving space and protected and watched over. And I love them. I love what I do now. And I used to wake up every morning and just be like, oh my gosh, I have 5 readings today. How am I going to have enough energy to do that? And am I going to make it? Is it going to be okay? And now that I've created what I can handle and what I think my clients can handle, it's way more beautiful, and it doesn't make me sick, and it doesn't make me, there's still, the thing is I can still get anxiety. I'm not going to lie. I can still get anxiety, but once I connect and once I say that prayer of protection, it's done. It's like I'm a different person. That connection just makes me, I don't want to say channeling, but kind of. I just feel like, and I don't feel like another spirit's taken over my body or anything like that, but the connection is so strong that the anxiety disappears. And I think the reason why is because for a long time, I would want the readings to be so perfect for the sitter, or I'd want it to be so good for them. And I didn't realize that the spirit, their ancestors, their loved ones, they brought them to me, and I'm working for them. I'm trying to bring across their messages. And once I started to change and make that shift, the anxiety kind of went away. And I realized it wasn't entertainment. It was, I never thought it was entertainment, but I just realized that it was a beautiful, profound experience. And I was just honored to be part of it, I'm not the one who makes it happen. It's that spirit on the other side makes it happen. And I've actually gotten to know quite a few spirits on the other side that we're good friends now. And so I have clients that I'm good friends with now. And I used to not be, because I used to not let myself be friends with my clients. And now I have lots of my clients that I think of as friends. And I have lots of spirits on the other side that I think of as friends, because we create magical moments. And it's not just me. I'm not the, all-seeing oh, I'm the one who makes it happen. It takes me, the sitter and the spirit, to make these readings sacred and to make them beautiful and to make them what they are. So I guess this podcast, this episode is, yes, I have in the past felt pressure but I don't, and I've felt nervousness and anxiety, but I honestly, I'm going to be 100%, I don't think that there's a medium out there that hasn't. Honestly, there's got to be at least one moment in your life that you were anxious, or, I think, and if you feel like I feel like they're hiding it. If they tell you that they never have and they knew from the beginning and this is what they always do, that's great. But I feel like that everyone's got their issues, right? If their issues aren't the same as mine, it's a different issue. And they're just really, really better at hiding it. And I'm fully transparent. I'm going to let you know, I was terrified doing this. I was terrified I was going to lose my family. I was terrified I was going to lose my friends. I was terrified. It was like coming out of the closet, out of the spiritual closet. And it was the most terrifying, chaotic experience. Like, it was so many times that I could feel the chaos and, oh my gosh, does this person know? And oh my gosh, does this person know? And what are they going to think? And that there are so many times I wanted to quit. And the only thing that didn't let me quit is you guys. You guys, my spunksters, my people. And you guys have been there for me for the very end, from the start to the finish. And you believe in my gift. You believe in your gifts, and you believe in me. And even when I sometimes didn't. And so I love that. I love that you're the reason why I'm still here, because I got so booked out. I knew I had to show up, because I am one of those people that have to show up for other people. And so being a medium for the last over 15 years, has brought so much anxiety and so much peace at the same time. It's so hard to explain, and it's just such a roller coaster. And I could say I don't get anxious anymore, and that's true with the readings. But I get anxious when I do group readings, not group readings, but event readings, or I get anxious when I meet when other mediums want to collaborate. There's always this new thing. There's this new thing. I always used to think, well, I'll get there. One day I'll be so confident and I'll get there. But then there's always something new, right? But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. And so if you are contemplating bringing out your spiritual gifts, or you're contemplating even doing anything, like let's say you want to be a fitness instructor, or you want to create a business, or it is hard. It is so freaking hard. And you do worry about what people think of you. You do. And it's an influencer, all of that stuff. People will say the meanest things, and people will think you're evil. And I just want you to know, just keep going. Just keep going and doing what you need to do, whatever it is that you want to do. Be yourself. And because when I tried to be like somebody else, it just didn't work. When I tried to be like a different medium, or I wanted to be like this medium, it didn't work. But when I just did my thing and I found my people, then everything else just came into place. And are there people that, you're not going to be for everyone, right? There's going to be some people that don't like what you do. And there have been a couple people that I have been like, this just isn't working. I'm going to give you your money back, because either I wasn't connecting very well, or they were just so skeptical, or it wasn't jiving. And that's okay. They can go to another medium, but that's only been like maybe on one hand. I can count on one hand out of all the readings that I've done, because I just feel like people come with an open heart and an open mind, and I do the same. And at first it was, you guys, if I could I think I might figure out a way to ask people if I can take certain moments out of their readings and tell people about them, because they're the most awesome things that come out of people's readings. It's just some validation and connections that are beautiful, like just connecting the dots and having your loved ones know that your loved ones are around. They're just very sacred and very beautiful. So, but my thing is I just want you to know that I did have some reservations at times that I didn't want to do this anymore. And people can be scary, but you know what? You keep going. You just keep swimming. Just like I always reference Disney movies, but you just keep doing it. You just keep doing it. And there's going to be times that it's harder than others. And there's going to be times that you're going to want to quit and whatever you're doing, not just mediumship, but connecting to spirit is the most beautiful thing you can ever do. And so I'm telling you to take that time to meditate. Take that time to set aside for yourself to connect to your guides or to connect to your loved ones or just for you to connect. You know, those magical moments when you can just feel the connection, you can feel the oneness, you can feel when you're aligned, it just feels good. Life feels beautiful and you're so grateful. And those moments are few and far between, but they're so beautiful when they happen. And they're what's keeping us going every single day. So believe in those magical moments and believe in yourself and know that you're going to be able to do this. Like you're going to be able to completely do this, whatever it is that you want to do. Come out of the closet, step out of the closet and let people know who you truly are. And, you know, it takes a timing too. So, you know, if I would have done this married to my first husband with tiny little kids, it wouldn't have worked out. It wouldn't have. So it came when I least expected it. And it came at a time when I could do it and I could have time for it and I could honor it and I could love it and cherish it. If you're in a hard time of your life that you can't do those things, just know that it's never going to go away. What yours is yours forever. It's still going to be in your heart. It's placed there for a reason. And so do it, just put it on a shelf and do it later or just do it later because I knew that I had this gift since I was 5. And there were times when in my first marriage and when I had my babies, when my kids were little, that I knew deep down. I remember when I first watched John Edwards, I was like, oh my gosh, I can do that. That's what I can do. I do that. I know what he's doing. And I finally felt validated. I finally felt like, oh my gosh, because back then we didn't have social media, right? It was just TV. And I remember thinking, I am not crazy. This is it. So in my younger years, I didn't really talk about it because I didn't know what it was. So yeah, I might have friends come out and be like, why didn't you ever tell me? I didn't know. I just know I saw ghosts. I know I saw spirits. I know that I knew things before they happened. I didn't, I know I saw, like, if you came over, I saw your grandfather. If I went to your house and I saw but I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm not going to be like, oh, there's a ghost sitting right here. When I remember in my other religion, I would go visiting, teaching a lot, and I would have these experiences all the time, and I couldn't say anything. And I wouldn't say anything because I thought I was crazy. But then one time we went to and I started watching John Edwards, and I started reading John Edwards and watching his book and watching his TV show. And I was like, this is it. This is what I am going to do. But I can't do it right now. I'm not going to do it right now because I have 4 little babies that I need to focus on and take care of. And so then once they got older and I didn't feel, but even then was scary because then I was like leaving. I didn't ever know how I could make it fit, right? The religion that I was living and then this. I didn't know how it was all going to connect. And I knew I'd have to sacrifice one or the other. And because of the people. And so once I did make that sacrifice, it was the best decision I've ever made. I don't feel any remorse. I don't feel any, I don't owe anybody anything. And it's the best decision I ever made. And I know that some of my kids probably didn't love it, but you know what? I had to be true to who I am. I had to be true to my heart, and I had to answer the call because Spirit was calling me, and Spirit was booking me out. So I couldn't quit. Spirit knew I was going to quit. The Spirit knew I was going to hit walls and I would be like, I'm done. But Spirit knew that. So Spirit's like, let's just book her out so she can't, because we know that her people-pleasing skills are a lot bigger than her they'll trump anything because she'll show up for people more than she will. At that time, I was showing up for people more than I was showing up for me, and I was hurting myself doing that. But now I'm at the point where I show up for both. But I don't overbook myself. I can't. I'm just one person. And if people don't understand, then that's not my problem, right? Even though I feel bad, that's just not something I can do. There's only one of me. So I guess what I'm trying to say is give you a little background of how it all started, how chaotic it was at one time. I remember just being in the shower crying so many times because the chaos of what to choose. What the religion or the mediumship, family or not, or lose them. But I will tell you this, the fear created a way bigger letdown than it actually happened, right? So I created this everyone's going to hate me. Everyone's going to think I'm evil. I created this big story. And once it all actually happened, it wasn't nearly as bad as what I'd created in my mind. And so you do you and create something beautiful, and don't let the fear stop you, because yes, it's been hard, but the mediumship, the magical moments have been so worth it. It's so beautiful. I wouldn't change it for the world. And I wouldn't change my new friendships that I've made. It's like Job in the New Testament. He lost so much, but he never gave up faith. And then he gained 10 times what he lost. And that's exactly what happened to me. I felt like I lost friends. I felt like I lost, maybe some family. But what I have gained is so much bigger and so much more fulfilling and so much more authentic and so much more guided by God that it was worth every moment, every moment. So trust and surrender to spirit, and trust that God's got you, and you're going to do this, and it's going to be okay. And if there's hard relationships out there, or if there's, speed bumps, just go with the flow and know that you're going to be taken care of, because I can't even tell you how many and I'm sure there's going to be more. I'm thinking about writing a book about the whole thing, and I'm sure there's going to be roadblocks along that way too, right? All of it. And that scares me and terrifies me, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And, adding on to this, I'm going to take trips I think I'm going to take spiritual trips and take people with me. And that terrifies me, but I'm going to do it because I know that that's what I'm supposed to do. And I know that I have a community that supports me, and I have a God that supports me, and I have a spirit team that supports me, and I have clients that support me, and a family that supports me, and it will all fall into place. So I love you guys so much, and I know I wouldn't be here without you. I wouldn't be, and I know that, and I owe everything I have to you and to spirit, to God. So now I think, since it's the summertime and I do have so much going on, I've told you in the past, I have a wedding in August, a baby due in September or the end of August, and the baby, there's some complications with that pregnancy, so we've got to be really watching that. Plus our house is being redone, and all these events that I'm doing. I am probably going to go back to my summer podcast schedule where I do it every other week, just because there's so much going on. So July and August, I think we're going to go back to every other week. If I throw in an extra one here and there, that's a bonus, but don't get too discouraged if I go to every other week for July and August. And, no, I forgot what I was going to say. July and August. Oh, I am going to, I have a person coming to talk about Look at my "Let Them" tattoo. If you're listening to it, I was just lifting my shoulder and I saw my "Let Them." I got that tattoo because I knew people were going to be talking about me, and I would just have to let them. I have to let people think what they want to think about me, right? So back to what I was talking about, because squirrel. So I am going to have somebody come on, and we're going to talk about Akashic Records. Akashic Records, it's like the book of life. It's all of our stuff I have some podcasts about the Akashic Records already, but this is going to have an interview. I'm going to interview somebody who does Akashic Record readings because I think that's so interesting. And I think it's something I want to do too. And we're going to have a special guest from some of my clients. If you guys know, I'll have some of my clients, some of the people, just that I do lots of readings for, one of my very, very close clients that my family is the Ryan Olson, his family. And I'm going to have some family members of them, some of his family members on to talk about grief and how mediumship helped them and how it helped them move forward. So watch for those. And I'm going to have my husband come and talk about his Bigfoot story because I know I have told the story before, but he tells it so much better and so much funnier. And I just have to tell you, I love him. When I first met him, I was so nervous about telling him about my mediumship abilities. But once he told me the Bigfoot story, and he just told me straight out his Bigfoot story. And I just thought, okay, we'll be fine. We're going to be fine. But he tells it in such a funny way. I love it so much. So he will get on. We'll probably have him on, and he'll tell us about his fun adventures with his Bigfoot sightings. So I love you guys so much. And I will put up another event. We do have so much stuff going on this summer. And I know I said I was going to have an event in August, but with everything going on, I will try and do another event that I can. Maybe August or sometime maybe in September, but it's all the stuff going on. And so just summertime is crazy. Summertime is fun. So just give me some time, have patience. And I love you guys so much. And yes, I am starting that book. So give me some ideas of what you want me to talk about in the book, because it's going to be talking about this transformation that happened and how it all came to about. So I love you guys so much. And remember that you have everything you need already inside of you. You are the magic. So I'll see you guys next week. Oh, maybe, or the week after. Probably not next week, but the week after. See you guys later.